We're here in Hong Kong on the final day of the APLF fair, and we are about to interview Mr. André Leroy. Good afternoon, André.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Well, can you tell us why is there a need to have two organisations which effectively have to do with sustainability in the footwear and textile fields?
Okay, so the goal of GAFTI first is to align standards between different companies. So what happens typically is that companies, brands have different code of conduct for social compliance. They've got different labs, different way to test chemicals, and so that's making the sourcing of apparel and footwear more complicated than it should be. And so the role of GAFTI is really to move to a common standard for product safety, social compliance, and sustainability. As we're a very small non-for-profit organization, SSE is doing a very good job for moving to one standard for sustainability, so we support SSE, and we're more focusing on the product safety side of things.
Yes.
But that's really a need for a lot of the brands and buying office in Hong Kong to have a simple way to assess products and factories. This an industry standard.
This is in terms of compliance, in terms of measurement of compliance.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and so SSE, for example, has a metrics to assess the sustainability of a factory.
Yes.
And this tool is adopted by a large number of brands. And so again, that would make also the job of factories easier, because instead of getting audited on a frequently basis, hopefully we could move to a stage that we could reduce the number of audits and spend more time on the improvement plan, which is a key thing, which is what we should be doing.
Yes. I understand that you use one key index, which is rather complex, which is called the Higg index.
Yes.
Can you explain a little about that in the context of the Sustainable Apparel Coalition?
Sure. So the Higg index is a way to assess the sustainability of a product, and to include a part about the material that I use. So some materials are more sustainable than others. It looks at the brand, so some brands have a more sustainable system than others, and it looks at manufacturers. And the idea is to combine all this, that we could have ideally a consumer-facing score that would allow consumers to choose product on design and price, and hopefully at least partially on sustainability. And the idea is that if we do this, and if it's adopted by a large number of brands, that we can change the way people buy stuff.
So, but in other words, you can change, let's say, the way compliance is measured in terms of the Higg index, of the brand itself and how it's manufactured. But will the consumer be able to understand these sort of metrics or this measurement, or will there become a stage where you have to educate the consumer?
There will be probably a stage for education, and hopefully, the brands can also help, because that's also the interest to share about the tool. But it's true that it's a tool that is all-encompassing. So it's not a very simple tool like energy consumption on a car. But at the same time, we feel it's important to have a wide range, because if we only look at one part like carbon footprint, and some people say, hey, you miss water use, or the idea is to cover all field. But yeah, I mean, there's probably quite a lot that needs to be done later on with consumers.
So in other words, you will obviously measure energy consumption or conservation, the amount of water used, social compliance.
Yes.
So it contains, the Higg index contains all these elements, which are then applied to, let's say, a brand or one model of shoe which is being produced there.
Yes.
It's as exact as that.
Yes, and it will be different. So if you go to an H&M store or Zara store, you would find this, and it will be different for different kind of shoes. Like, for example, you have some materials that are more sustainable than others. So within the same store, you will have different options.
Yes.
Consumers don't know necessarily this today. Well, I mean, some designers don't even know today. And the idea is to provide tools first to the design and the supply chain and consumers, so that they can make more informed decisions.
So, now let's assume these tools are in place.
Yeah.
The consumers know about them.
Yeah.
What is the level of acceptance by, let's say, large brands who will probably be the pioneers in applying this, What's the level of acceptance, let's say in Europe or in Germany, where people are very environmentally aware?
Yeah, and so you've got a lot of brands which are members of SSE. I mean, it goes from the Patagonias, the Nikes, Adidas, the Walmart, the Target, the H&M, the CNA, the Zara. So really like most of the people. The other thing is that it's not a pass or fail, it's a score. And so expectation from consumers might be different from different price points. Like if you are looking for outdoor jacket, very expensive, and you might say, you know what, hey, it's more important for me, I'm enjoying nature, and so I want the most sustainable jacket that I can find. And then you will still have people saying, I want just a basic t-shirt. And so I'm not expecting a score of 90, but between different brands at similar price points, yeah, if one is more sustainable than the other, why not?
Now, one final question. I understand that these two organisations, SAC and GAFTI, are founded by business people.
Yeah.
Were they specifically founded by business people to keep out government interference and extra regulation?
The idea is for the industry to organise itself and to define standards that we believe make sense for our industry. And I think if we do a good job of this, and there's less need for regulation. I mean, if you look at the big brands I've mentioned, they've got a lot of chemists, a lot of expertise. The labs are involved obviously as well, and so there's a lot of expertise there that can be leveraged. And so the other thing is, a lot of time we react to a crisis like terrible accident in Bangladesh or the detox campaign, and so the idea of both of these associations is to be more proactive. And say, okay, where we as an industry and where we need to improve. And again, if all the major brands align on one standards, implementation by supply chain becomes much easier.
Yes.
Because they're all asking the same thing. If the brands are asking for different things, and implementation is getting very complex and not very effective, actually.
So we're aiming for self-regulation rather than government regulation.
Absolutely.
So the things run more smoothly.
Yes.
And it'll keep profits and probably creativity, I guess.
Yeah, and improve sustainability by giving the consumers the information they don't have today.
Okay, that's great. Okay, thank you for your time, André Leroy.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.